What is sociobiology? Okay, this is the introduction. Okay, this is part 1. What happens in the sociobiology debate? Oh. Okay, to analyze the human species, that's very interesting in terms of the concept of the newly developed discipline of sociobiology was linked to form biologically determinist. Wow, that's very interesting. Okay, let's analyze human, this species. Political issues exhibiting something. Okay, there will be controversies. Dangerous consequences. Okay, yes, there are dangerous consequences. I know. So let me see how it developed. Look at the early stages of controversy and the composition of the study itself. I don't care about the early controversies. I want to know what it happened now. Academic activist. I think these are smart people and brave people. They research, now research human species. Very interesting. Philosophy, psychology. Okay, let me see. Can the sociobiology debate have been avoided? I don't want to be avoided. I want to analyze people, because people is not so flexible. It don't change a lot of characters and their abilities for a long time. Environmentalist paradigm. What is environmentalist? Racism. Oh, racism. You can't analyze people with racism. People of different races have different cultures. You are racism. Okay, let me see the finally. Okay, IQ test and then genome test. Okay, a crash among titans. Colleagues on Colossian course. Moral con scientific agendas. Harvard biologist. Represented a much larger conflict. Okay, they have conflict. I think one part must be stupid and another part might be smart. So I don't want to see conflict. I want to see their result. The great scientific dream of these two men were to integrate social and natural science on the basis equilibrium theory. Equilibrium theory, yeah, that's very interesting. He kept on a leash by materialistic science. Oh, way. Is humans determined by material? I don't think so. That would be so terrible to think like that. Crucial agenda. Marxism. Okay, now it's Marxism because it wants to materialize things. Okay, it's a ghost. It's a demon. I want to avoid. Okay, so they are still arguing, criticize each other, but no one made any contributions. How the insect body is engineered, is created by God. Oh, I can't believe so many people read it with me. I don't care whether you have a desk or didn't receive feedback from anybody. Just tell me what's your research result, okay? Paper not delayed by request. The professors teaching students to hate each other. Scandal. Darwin's and British debate. Okay, talk me something sensible. Selfish gene from the onset explicitly excludes human behavior and warns the reader not to be mistaken about the author's intention with the book. Being misunderstood by people. That is, every people will encounter when they have a new idea. Oh, Darwin, misunderstood. I am saying things, how things have evolved, not the morality. Okay, they just say how, explain, not the morality, not should, what should be done, but what, why. extreme emphasis on genes. Is gene so important or environment more important? Can any characteristic that we have can be found, can be resolved, can be dated back to a gene that we have? Do you have a selfish gene? Functional ethologist. That is, what is function? Someone who is interested in the adaptive explanation of how a particular behavior may have evolved. Okay, it is functional ethologist. So he just Dawkins is not Darwin. Let me make sure. Oh, Dawkins, not Darwin. Evolution of life, not the emotional nature of humans. Okay, many things is not determined by humans. I want to know the result. What's your opinion? What's your explanation? Not about your story, how you fight each other. Welcome. Mutual aid. Okay, emergence of the field turns out to be rather complex than a standard model. Okay, so anything to come, you need a friend, you need an enemy, and you need someone to disseminate propaganda, and some money come to you. I want to know Beast, a catalyst event, the Man and Beast conference. Instinctive versus learned behavior. Behavioral biogrammar. Universal linguistic ability in humans. Great variety of specific and cultural expressions. I think it's peer pressure. Because this professor arranged such eminent professor arranged such conference to discuss something about how money was spent there. I think professors sometimes if you are not prominent professors, you have to beg money from the companies, but you are eminent professors, the companies beg you. big money to take their money. Because you are the leader of humankind. Species-specific and genetically mediated behavior. Psychology. The gap between ethology and sociobiology exaggerated. Anthropologist, ethology, sociobiology. Cultural difference. What's their difference? What's their gap? Innate aggressiveness in animals. I think dogs nowadays don't have that. So they got no result to tell me. Assault on adaptationism. Defenders of truth. The scourers could baffle the Royal Society. Okay. Adaptationism. Reactions to strangers. Criticism. Adaptism. Scientists are easily taken in by rhetoric. That's very interesting saying, because scientists, for the most part, simply do not acknowledge that the form and the language of an argument could have anything to do with its effectiveness. But since good and honorable rhetoric works, an addition of an element of surprise, in this case, a surprise never revealed, boost the utility enormously. Okay. That means that you have problem, but you don't realize there's a problem. So you must have problem forever. That's a very good point. Scientists typically read selectively and purposively. Okay, focusing on such things as theory, method, or data. Few read a whole article, or from beginning to end. That's true. Experienced scientists typically did not read the paper as a whole from beginning to end. They previewed and skimmed. That's why I was rejected. When your example becomes generic or a different part of a speech, you have won. trenchant and elegant paper. So try to be trenchant and elegant when you're writing a paper. Adaptionism was a working hypothesis. Almost a phase has inspired many important discoveries over the years. So you want to criticize assault on adaptivism to be a scientist. So has virtues as well as faults. Then you can make an improvement for the society to be a scientist. How? I just wonder how to assert on a ready-made hypothesis. Blurring of boundaries between science and literature appears to have worked the other way. Okay, stimulate evolutionary exercise their literary talents. That makes versatile scientist. Introduce something he's not aware that everybody else has developed. Argument about constraints turned out that some just dismissed it as old news. Commented that the idea of development morphology had been tried but abandoned simply because it did not pan out in terms of evidence. Sophisticated adaptation in American has always thought about constraints. Okay, I don't understand what happens makes sense, but life's history could have cascaded down millions of other equally sensible alternative paths, none of which have led to the evolution of self-conscious intelligence. Self-conscious what happens makes sense, but life's history could have cascaded down millions of other equally sensible alternative paths, none of which have led to evolution of self-conscious intelligence. Interest on constraints of adaptation. Okay, so they want to prove that it is not adaptation to the history, because the experience will not lead to self-conscious intelligence. So it is not adapted. It is created out of nowhere. The paper's success is in its future utility in advancing fruitful work of a field. It opens up a new field, stimulated the coining of the missing term, acceptation. Well, this is very good, because at presently those PhDs that I know, they're always discussing how many top conference paper that I have published, but they don't talk about what exactly contribution that they have ever made. Okay, confessions of a former adaptionist. Okay, to make them criticize themselves, then you don't have to assault them. I am lying. I just want to get a diploma, so I'm lying. No, he wouldn't say that. How he confessed. I consider the basic argument as flawed. Argument of sociobiology as flawed, and I was bothered by the political implication of its genetic determinism. Genetic determinism, that's very bad. If I am determined by genetic, oh, then I should live in China, right? One encounters flawed argument by the score every day. A decision to grant special scrutiny and attention to such an argument may then be influenced by other factors, including dislike of its implications. When I located adaptionism as a central intellectual flaw of sociobiology, I gained more insight into the scope of misuse and came to regard the subject as sufficiently important for attention and ink. In short, I do not attack adaptionists because I disdain sociobiology. Oh, way. I despise you so much, so I don't attack you. I dislike sociobiology because I regarded its central premising as fatally flawed. Yeah, so that makes me think that I am not alone when I think that the central premise of some research is fatally flawed. Yeah, I am not alone. Maybe some people, they just have the similar idea. Maybe there are existing many research topics are just fatally flawed. That makes me more confident now. Sociobiology controversy as a Trojan horse. Break through the resistance from his colleagues. He's rather proud of his achievement. Let's see what he said. I'm very proud of my achievement. We faced a special and unusual sort of problem in gaining attention and understanding for alternatives to adaptation. How can you challenge something of if most people simply regard it as true and therefore haven't even conceptualized the possibility of another reading? You can't initiate this sort of reform from within. Oh yeah, you should when you want to beat a mountain, you should use the stone from another mountain to beat this mountain. If I didn't think I had a chance of success if I tried to raise the argument head-on by labeling a set of biological structures as potential spandrels, too many colleagues would have turned off right there. I am not that stupid. Too many colleagues would have turned right off there. I would do special way, either by putting all their ingenuity to finding a proper adaptionist explanation for the examples, or much worse, by failing to understand the point, because after all, we know that all well-designed parts of organisms are adaptations. All well-designed parts of organisms are adaptations. What else could they be? You can model simulate it with the bio-inspired artificial intelligence to think that when use the proper algorithm, it just forms like this. What else could they be? But by using neutral architectural examples, I could make an end run around their prejudice and compel attention. Neutral architecture. Wow, that is very brave. You just beat a steady-made field. Semantic. When he found the adaptation to be the root of the problem. Wow. So that is learns that how people to challenge it, the fatally flawed foundations in research. Inner one of Trojan horses. The case of a scientific truth anti-adoption which contains inside itself. Wow. Contains inside itself a moral or political truth. Oh, so you just make it a paradox, conflicting with each other. I think you need both courage and you need both courage and wisdom to do scientific research. Okay, I want to assert on adaptionalism. What's their conclusion? Okay, this is the conclusion. Okay, this person find that adaptation, find that a field is fatally flawed, and then other people find his problem, like exaggerating the problem or reinstate what other people did. Then, how will things will go on? Then other major scientific bones contention would help him. Selection dispute. Selfish gene. So when he presents something, you would get severe resistance. So I just think that the Indians and the Chinese try to get to published in top conference papers just to apply, just to comply with the review to be published. So they will never make a greater discoveries, greater research, because they just always try to comply. You should try to meet severe resistance. Oh. This is accusing lack of realism. This is Darwinian logic. I don't really care about the specific research result that is made. I don't think any of them are right, but I do really care about how to present yourself, your unique ideas among a lot of disagreement. Altruism is essential problem of sociobiology and kin selection and group selection. Kin selection. What is kin selection? Kin selection is it to choose a partner for on individuals who are likely to be altruistic. Yeah, my boyfriend is altruistic, always give money to others. I think we will be poor when we are old. Both individuals and groups as dust storms in the desert as temporary aggregations, so they will all be decomposed. That's terrible. So there is no core. They are all dust. I don't think so. That's too simplified. The problem of culture. Let me see this. I don't think they talked about anything really good. I think culture would influence people. Maybe you can talk about a peer pressure or subordination that makes people of a culture look like each other. Racist paper. Okay, I would like to write a racist paper about the Chinese. About king selection. That's not racist. I'm not interested at all. Are genes necessary? Of course necessary. When you have a beautiful gene, you become beautiful. Existing models are deterministic. So what else is only deterministic? What else do you have? You don't know. So let's see the last. Okay, from a hardline sociobiological view, gene is very, very important. It's fundamental. Genes, mind, and culture. Hello. That is too old. These are all too old researches. So I just the moral political conflict continues. Okay, so what's the fault? Whose fault is it? Yeah, if Hitler draw this attention, what will Hitler do? Okay, they want to disconnect themselves because their every research is open to future adaptation, if they just connect to the political implications, might be too premature effect to the society. They even struck back. Okay, making sense of the sociobiology debate. Debate, not effect. The quest for certainty. Readers of science can only judge the truth. Okay, what did he say? In his attempt to graft speculation about human behavior, dispels any claim for logical and factual continuity. This criticism is so implicit. Evolutionist, not to say unrealistic view of science, for those critic scientists were not allowed to operate with data or method that these scientists themselves considered acceptable. No gray area of knowledge, where different expert opinion might legitimately prevail. Black and white. Good and bad scientist. Challenging. So there's no gray area? Do you think so? Social status quo. Chomsky's challenge. It was wrong to even try to find out about the nature of human nature. Why? Okay, it was clearly part of the individualistic tradition in Western thought, but this tradition might be used for both conservative and radical purposes. According to Masters, the reason why sociobiology has been treated as a politically conservative ideology when applied to humans was that the critics have been collapsed two parallel distinctions in the Western student tradition. On the one hand, there was the distinction between individualistic cost-benefit and social contract theories and systemic theories. On the other hand, there was the distinction between political right and left. Plato's big line. I still didn't understand what is this Cornell's critique of sociobiological emerged dilemma is challenge. Okay, what challenge he did? He just said it is wrong to do this research. Oh, you are back. Welcome. Can you see my picture? I think it's not clear. Its measure of man. Big line was not that human diversity exists or that it is innately determined, but that it is inherently definable according to a scale. What is Plato's big line? Okay. So it is Plato's big line, an analog of more or less precious metals from which people are forged. So each people, maybe this people is made of gold, this people is made of iron. It's very easy to be corrupted. Okay. Genetic diversity on the one hand and equality and inequality on the other hand are independent in principle, and yet they are by no means mutually irrelevant. The rationale of human equality is not to make everybody physically or psychologically alike or engage in the same work or occupation. On the contrary, the purpose is to derive from the available diversity of humans the greatest possible benefits to the society, as well as diversity to the individual concerned. Just like couples complement with each other is better than similar to each other. Plato, in the Republic, apprehended that since different persons have different abilities, they achieve their own greatest well-being and also make greatest contributions to the common good when they develop their particular skills to the fullest extent. The way to make sure to the fullest extent of the available pool of genetic talents and abilities is acceptance of meritocracy and equality of opportunity. Anybody should be entitled to aspire to any position or role in society. Ideally, every person will select the occupation or career for which he or she is most qualified genetically. Yes, nobody. If everybody want to get a professor job, then the world would be disaster. The idea is far from always realized, but mistakes are correctable. The truth will out massaging test through moral reading. Massaging test through moral reading. So how careful these scientists are. They have to massage the text. Efforts to justify social inequality has been prejudiced on. Okay. Thank you for being with me. I don't know why. I just feel lonely to read alone. I want to talk. Use the polygenetic traits to refute the first quote, including the idea of ideal, the main basis of success. is hardly hereditary. Chromosome. Of course, success is hardly hereditary. Success father, success son? No. Hunter-gatherer society, men hunt and women stay at home. So the labor, division of labor is different in different society. If in a hunter and gatherer society, they have only two jobs, hunter or gatherer. But in this society, then you would think that the women, the genetics women are born, should accept the diversity to just be a gatherer. No, I think it's a society determines that, and the humans' diversity, they should just adapt, not just adapt to the society's limits, just a human hunter. Maybe they should just develop to make it more, not to determine that what position that you should fit in, but to expand the possible positions. That's my idea. So I think these researchers are not clever as me. Planters and weeders in the garden of science. Planter, weeder. Okay, so planters is building the new field, and weeders is getting rid of the better critics. Yes. Traditional and critical views of science in society. Social responsibility of the scientist. I don't think so. Because I think scientists, they made scientific discoveries, but it's not their decision to make. Other people can make decisions, to discuss about decisions. Although Nobel just so regret that they made the bombs, the fireworks. At the Nobel's time, he has to get social responsibility. But now, scientist is not so noble. Sociobiology study group. Student study group, as many other activist movements, has a total democratic ambition. Yeah, they can discuss, so it's democratic. The morality of science. So what is the morality of science? Of a total war. So they argue each other, they fight each other, they scold each other. The battle around the behavior, genetics, controversy. He continues. Why then should an activist political group make such an issue of XYY, with all its scientific ethical ambiguities and with so few victims involved, when much larger and more indefensible medical problems abound? The key, I suggest, is not primary concern for the innocent children, though that is surely present. Oh wait, they have to battle each other. Labeled a racist. Why he was labeled a racist? This episode. Davis. Okay, Davis. We must recognize that we are dealing not simply with legitimate dissent, just as Science for the People aim to destroy the field of human behavior genetics, and we would be naive not to recognize that an opposition to certain idea underlies its attack on alleged harmful research activities. Antisocial behavior. So they want to attack the activities as well as the ideas. But I don't think so. If you have that idea, some people have stupid idea which is not truth, then they would get suffered themselves. You don't have to attack them. Just like me, my paper is rejected. It's their loss. I know the truth. They don't know. Jason and IQ research. IQ research. My IQ is not so high. I always have one reader with me. Thank you very much. I feel a little sleepy now. But he was wrong. Why he was wrong? Disagreement among the very expert. Okay. To be or not to be in the sociobiology controversy. To be on the thankless task of uncouplers. Coupled thinking, that is a belief that a scientific position different from one's own. That is a belief that a scientific position different from one's own must be politically motivated, was prominent among the protagonists in the about genes and behavior. It is therefore informative to examine a case where couplers from both sides in the sociobiology controversy admonished the same uncoupler for not seeing the light. Not seeing the light. Are you blind? This is very true. By using such things as statistics or mathematics in order to look more rigorous. So interesting. They're always doing such tricks. Hello, baby. Ooh. What did I say? I talked to myself. Perilous. 1 foot in each camp. The mediating effort of John Maynard Smith and Patrick Batson. Molecular, so comes to molecular. Left wing, molecular biologist and a Nobel laureate in Massachusetts. How I wish I can be a top scientist. I don't want to struggle with publishing that I had now. pared down to ultimate level of reductionism. To simplify it, it's still IQ. I don't like IQ. I think if I had an IQ test when I was younger, I would be too shy to give the right answers. So once I see the IQ, I would have no interest. A clash of traditions. Communicative naturalists and critical experimentalists. Oh, they will experiment on humans. Naturalist. Let me see, what experiment did they do? I don't think that I can finish this book today. But I'm really not interested so much about it. A clash of traditions. Naturalist spirit. I just want to see what experiment did they say. Just see the main point. Do they have a main point? The divided academy and its 2 words of truth. 2 words of truth. Emotional outlays, not only under constant performance pressure, but are also expected to adhere to rigorous writing style. That's me suffering now. Thus, we can say that the 2 academic camps that have formed IQ test, I'm not interested at all. Conflicting views of the nature of science. Nature of science. True causality versus models and measurement. Models and measurement. So IQ is a measurement. True causality. I don't like each of them. The legitimacy of correct, intelligent research. No incorrect. I don't want you to test me. Holism, reductionism, and Marxism. Wow, they must be all bad things. Why Wilson is not Watson? Okay, interested in using the reaction method to tackle complex phenomena, but again, his goal was ultimately to broaden the range and explanatory power of evolutionary biology. Needless to say, genetic here for Wilson is not. Okay, capitalizing on controversy. Oh, you can capitalizing on it. More streamline, more streams. Moral recognition as symbolic capital. Recognition, symbolic, moral recognition. Every people want moral recognition. They don't want other people to say they are evil. The battle over the issue in the sociobiological debate. I'm really not interested in. Evolution in a changing environment. Evolution in a changing environment. They have to change. Sociobiology, I'm not interested. Coming to terms with human sociology, sociobiology, not interested. The faith is being defended by evolutionary in the footstep of matter has to do with much more than discontinuity relates to the way nature really is. Both proximate and ultimate factors in regard to behavior. Choose by dispute. Do you believe we get choose by dispute? Anti-science. Anti-sociobiology and anti-science. There is anti-Indian, anti-China, just like me. I'm anti-China, and some Indians anti-Indian. Critical continuities and discontinuities. Wow. So their research have continuities and discontinuities. Enlightenment quest. Consilience, the new central dogma. Consilience. So there are personalities of scientists. I don't care. Scientific truth and moral truth. Is there any difference between them? Still, it is clear that theories and imageries appear to have more negative immediate social consequence than others. Yeah, if and when taken out of their scientific context, what to do? It seems to me that a moral and political debate around potential implication science may be the only possible way to go. Okay, that is why when we publish papers, you have to say what a society influence consequence it will have. The battle for the soul and for the soul of science, determinism and the attribution of guilt. Oh, you will have a battle of soul. I always have a battle of soul in myself, whether I should work today or sleep, and thinking on bed. Brains, for reductionists, are determinate objects whose properties produce go against the dictates of our dreams if we so wish. I want to go against some better dictates of my dream. No other gods. This is quite old, 1996. I don't care about their idea. Okay, this is over, just to see the last words. Myopic. Oh. So I just after reading this book, Defenders of the Truth, just makes me know about how the discussions in the society, how the discussions of a specific field was made. Oh, what will happen in it? Also, I think in the future I would read books in its original way, that the original opinions by the author, by the scientist, not by those compilers. Bye bye. This is the end.